Ah, hello. I did not see you there. I am Stephanie Irwin, world renowned naturalist, and today, my Daffy Dandelions, I have a very special video for you because I'm going to be discussing one of my favourite critters in the humble animal kingdom, the snake. Now, many of you might be a tiny bit scared of snakes because, they are one of the three main animal groups that people have a fear of. I'm talking sharks, I'm talking spiders, and I'm talking snakes. But let me assure you, this fear is wholly unreasonable because the specimen that I'm about to take out today is an absolute cutie, an absolute softie. They would not harm a fly. Seriously, I'm absolutely positive. So, without further ado, this is my pet snake, Percy the python, because I just had to give them a really fun name because they're a really fun critter. So as you can see, taking them out of their box here, I open it and they don't jump out and bite me because they are actually highly used to hot human contact. I mean, I do try and hold my snake quite often just so that they're used to my presence, and when I hold them it's usually in a very calm and very considerate manner. I cannot emphasize this enough, guys, because if you start, being all fast and agile and aggressive with your animal, they're going to perceive you as a threat, and that's not going to go well. You might get a little danger kiss where they bite you just to say, back off, I'm not into this rubbish, seriously, and who would be? So as you can see, I've got the snake on my lap currently, and I'm being very careful and considerate. I'm moving my hands very slowly. They can see my presence. I'm picking them up. I've got their body, and I'm just going to very slowly lift them up with my hands, as you can see. So there we go. And absolutely beautiful. Now, as you can see, this animal is very pretty indeed. And if I get the magnifying glass out, you can see indeed how pretty their scales are. So their scales are basically made of the finest keratin, which is basically the gold of the snake world. They line their entire body. As you can see, a very beautiful pattern. I mean, these guys are native to Asia, so I know he might not look like he camouflages quite well, but you got to keep in mind that, with the terrain and everything, this kind of breaks it up a lot, and it's rather good camouflage for them to use with their white bodies, their undersides, and their, mixed up top sides to kind of blend in to their natural terrain more often. Of course, these aren't native to the UK. If they were native to the UK, probably be more kind of greenish, rockish kind of snake, kind of like a lot of greys and stuff, like our natural snakes, like, the grass snakes and stuff, the ones that we haven't imported as part of our lovely reptile industry. But this is an absolutely beautiful specimen. If you look through these scales, you can see that he is just absolutely amazing. Well, I'm getting a lot of glare on here, but as you can see, just like a stunning detail. And this is their head. Now, if you look closely at their head, they keep on coming towards me because I am just the center of their universe. I am their snake mother, and I am very considerate and very doting on my children. But if you was to look at their head, let me just grab you, my boy. Oh yeah, by the way, the snake is a male ghost royal python, also known as a ball python. I can't believe I haven't mentioned that already, guys. Sorry, please do forgive me. And when I say male, I'm not misgendering them. It's a snake, literally. That is how they were sexed when they, sold them to me. So this is a male ghost royal python, just strictly specifying that, this is a male of the species and that he would require indeed a female to, go on, produce a bunch of eggs and everything and have, ensure the future of the species. Blah, 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 blah. Now we've got all of that nature Darwinian gooble gobble out the way. I will show you their head, which, as you can see, is a pretty fine piece. So you might, in fact, actually notice that he has some little bumps on his face. Now, these bumps are actually sensory pits, as you can see. Tiny holes on their snout, so these are sensory pits, and that is basically so that they can get a better sense of their environment. As you can see, he is currently looking up, being very inquisitive, flicking their tongue. They're getting particles from the air, they're taking it into their mouth, and they're essentially running that through there. I believe it's called Jacobson's organ, which helps the snake to better navigate and detect their environment by basically creating like a map of similar scents, like, you know, where another snake has possibly marked its territory, whether it's familiar with this scent, you know, or whether it's a new scent and it should be on the lookout for either predators or prey, you know. Yeah. Just going to pick them up again. This snake in particular does have some stuck shed around their neck, as you can see, that little flake right there where my finger is. Now, though you might be, let's say, persuaded to pick it off yourself, like, you know, peeling off bubble wrap. I have done that before. It is quite satisfying, but it is a bit uncomfortable for the animal, so I wouldn't really recommend it. I would instead recommend you just creating a moist space in their enclosure, some kind of like damp moist box, usually with some kind of like moss and stuff in there that they can go in at their leisure. Their skin will basically absorb the moisture, and that will help it a great deal in getting the shed off itself. It is always better to let the animal get it off itself. However, if it is experiencing massive shed buildup, like on their eyes and stuff and everything, then it might be best to assist them if the animal cannot perform this function itself. But again, if it's a little bit, it's probably safe, leave it for the animal to do. But if it's a lot, then you might want to help them, especially with the eye caps. Probably be very careful, get some tweezers,